Hey everyone, welcome back. Waiting for another deep dive.
Always excited to jump into some fascinating lore.
Well, today we're strapping on our helmets and taking a closer look at Mandalorian armor.
Yeah, some really cool stuff there.
It really is. We've got some excerpts from a text that goes deep on the history, the design, the whole cultural significance of Mandalorian armor.
It's more than just armor, right?
Exactly. And you'll see why it's so much more than just, looking like a badass.
It's like their second skin, almost.
Yeah, our source even uses the Mandoa term for it, Beskar'gam.
Beskar'gam, I like that.
Yeah, it emphasizes how deeply symbolic this armor is for Mandalorians. Like it's a part of their identity.
You really can't separate the armor from who they are. It's their values, their history.
Their whole big of life, yeah.
Right, it's all woven in there.
Okay, so let's break down this Beskar'gam. I mean, those helmets, right? Instantly recognizable.
Those T-shaped visors, yeah.
But there's a lot more to it than meets the eye.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that T-visor, that's not just for show. That's high-tech stuff.
It is.
Yeah, they call it a macrobinocular viewplate. Gives them enhanced vision, multiple spectrums, like infrared, ultraviolet.
Whoa, like built-in night vision.
That's right. Imagine tracking your prey in total darkness or spotting enemies just hiding in plain night.
Makes them pretty formidable hunters and warriors then, huh?
No kidding. It's a serious advantage.
And the whole armor set, it's all about functionality and protection, right?
Yeah, you got your pauldrons protecting the shoulders, breastplates, vambraces on the forearms.
All those interlocking plates.
Yep, maximum coverage.
But still, I imagine they've got to be somewhat flexible to move in that stuff.
Surprisingly agile, yeah. The design allows for a good range of motion.
And speaking of the vambraces, I hear those can be packed with some serious surprises.
Oh yeah, they're not just for arm protection. Think hidden weapons, gadgets.
Like what? Little flamethrowers?
You got it. Flamethrowers, grappling hooks, even dart launchers sometimes.
So they're always ready for anything, huh?
Prepared for any situation. That's the Mandalorian way. Always resourceful, always adaptable.
It's like their armor is a giant Swiss Army knife of weaponry and gadgets.
Aha, in a way, yeah. All seamlessly integrated into the design, too.
And here's what I find really interesting. Even with all this traditional armor, there's still room for personal expression.
Oh, definitely.
Like take Sabine Wren, for example. She integrated a hollow imager into her helmet.
Right. Shows how Mandalorians, even with their strict traditions, can make their Beskar'gam their own.
It's like a blend of tradition and innovation.
Yeah, you see that with Din Djarin too, right? He chooses to keep his Beskar raw, no paint.
Just straight up Beskar?
Yeah, it's a statement. Like he's letting the metal itself speak for him. Strength, resilience.
Makes sense.
Shows that even within their shared culture, there's space for individual choices, Their personality comes through.
Okay, now we got to talk about the metal that makes all of this possible. Beskar.
Legendary stuff, yeah.
I mean, our source says it's almost indestructible. Can withstand blaster fire, even deflect lightsabers.
Yeah, Beskar's pretty mind-blowing. That's where that Mandalorian reputation for toughness comes from.
You're facing down a Jedi and you've got that kind of confidence.
Says a lot about their courage, right? And their belief in the strength of their armor.
But even Beskar, it has its limits, right? I mean, it's not totally invincible.
Of course. Nothing is.
Our source mentioned a Beskar spear could pierce it, for example.
Yeah, and when Beskar's scarce, they might have to use other materials.
Like duress steel.
Right, much less durable.
So even with the best armor, there's always risk.
Always. I think that makes their bravery even more impressive, though. They know the dangers, but they still fight.
Yeah, that's a good point. Really adds to their warrior spirit image.
Absolutely.
So how is this incredible armor made? The forging process, that must be quite an art.
It is. Ancient and secret, passed down through generations. They have these Mandalorian armorers.
Like special blacksmiths.
More than that, they're the keepers of the culture. They imbue each piece with history and meaning.
Wow, so they're not just crafting metal, they're weaving stories into it.
Exactly. Think about the weight of that history, the legacy.
It's heavy stuff.
Our source even mentions some sets being hundreds of years old.
Wow, passed down as heirlooms.
Yeah, imagine wearing armor your ancestors wore in battle centuries ago.
Gives me chills. It's like a physical connection to their past.
It really shows how Mandalorian armor is no more than just physical protection. It's lineage. It's a tangible link to their ancestors.
A symbol of their legacy.
Exactly.
Okay, we've touched on the cultural significance a bit here, but I think it deserves its own deep dive.
Definitely. There's so much more to uncover there.
It's fascinating how this armor has become such a symbol across the galaxy. But we'll get into all that after a quick break.
Sounds good. Yeah, it really is fascinating how it's become this symbol across the galaxy.
Right.
Represents their warrior spirit, that unyielding sense of honor.
Loyalty to their clan and family.
Exactly, like their armor is an extension of all that.
It's true. You see that armor and, you're dealing with a formidable opponent.
Oh, for sure. Earned their reputation, haven't they?
Centuries of being a force to be reckoned with.
It's like the armor precedes them, announces their strength.
No messing around with these guys.
Right. Unwavering resolve.
It really does speak volumes. This whole idea of resilience, a code of honor.
A warrior legacy that's gone way beyond just Mandalore itself.
You know, it's funny, thinking about Jango and Boba Fett,
Oh, yeah.
they weren't really traditional Mandalorians, right?
In the strictest sense, no.
But they definitely played a role in solidifying that image
I see what you mean.
of Mandalorian armor for the rest of the galaxy.
They're a good example of how the look of the armor,
Yeah.
it goes beyond just knowing the culture,
Right.
the intricacies of their code.
Just that visual impact.
Exactly. You see it, you understand the power.
Especially those helmets.
Oh, yeah.
Instant recognition, like a symbol of power independence.
Don't mess with me attitude.
Ha, exactly.
And what I find really interesting is how their legacy and everyone who came before them, it inspires those coming after.
Right.
New generations of Mandalorians.
That's what makes it so fascinating to me. It's more than just a cool suit of armor.
It's a symbol, right?
Yeah, it's history, heritage, this set of values that's still relevant, even as the galaxy changes around them.
And that makes you wonder, what does the future hold for Mandalorian armor?
Right.
How will it adapt?
We've already seen, like, Sabine Wren
Yeah.
personalize their armor, new technology.
And with Mandalore being rediscovered, this resurgence of their culture.
It's exciting to think about. Will they hold on to tradition or embrace new materials, new techniques?
Will they find that balance between tradition and innovation?
It's a really fascinating question.
Makes you think about preserving the old ways, but also progress.
And where will they fit in this ever-changing galaxy? Will their armor reflect that?
Will they become more a part of things, or will it remain a symbol of, separatism?
Strength.
It really is intriguing, all these possibilities, how their story unfolds.
Yeah, and this deep dive, I think it's given us a new appreciation
For the craftsmanship.
the history, the meaning.
Behind every piece of Beskar'gam.
It really is amazing to think about something seemingly simple like armor can have so much meaning, tell such a powerful story.
It's true.
But like most of our deep dives, we end up with even more questions.
Well, that's exploration for you, isn't it?
Makes you want to learn more.
Wishes us to dig deeper.
I think it's time to wrap up this part of our deep dive.
Okay.
You know, it's really kind of wild when you think about it. It's just armor.
But it's not just armor, is it?
Right. It's so much more. It's a statement. It's symbolic. It's Mandalorian.
And that's the beauty of it. It's that fusion of history and culture and personal identity all rolled into one.
A physical representation.
Of their struggles, their values, their triumphs.
So I guess the question is, what does this all mean for our listeners? Why should they care about, the finer points of Mandalorian armor?
Because it reminds us that the things we wear, the objects we carry, they can hold so much meaning, tell powerful stories.
Even in a galaxy far, far away.
Exactly. It's about looking beyond the surface, understanding the deeper significance of those symbols, whether it's in fiction or our own world.
Appreciating the craftsmanship, the history, all the traditions that create something that becomes so much more than just an object.
It's a reflection of an entire culture, yeah.
And I think it challenges us to think about the stories our own possessions tell, What do the things we choose to wear say about us?
What values do they represent? Yeah, that's a great point. Makes you think.
In a world obsessed with the superficial, Mandalorian armor really stands out. A reminder that true strength comes from something deeper.
Absolutely. It's about the stories we carry, the legacy we build, the values we choose to live on.
So next time you see that Mandalorian helmet, remember, there's more to it than just Beskar.
It's the weight of history, it's the strength of their tradition, and it's the spirit of a people who, they forged their own path.
This has been an awesome deep dive, I gotta say.
It really has.
Hope you've enjoyed exploring the world of Mandalorian armor with us today.
Me too.
But before we go, we want to leave you with one last thing to think about. Given all this history, all the cultural significance we've talked about, what do you think the future holds for Mandalorian armor? How will it evolve in this ever-changing galaxy?
Will it adapt, or will it become a symbol of the past?
It's a testament to their resilience, their adaptability, isn't it? That they've managed to keep this tradition alive for so long.
It really is.
Well, folks, think about wraps it up for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.